I'm a what?
I am the greatest.
Never tell me I'm the winner. I'm going to win.
Execute Order 66.
Way downtown. Bang! Bang!
All right, we're back again.
Back again. We're back with Jared.
Our
Hello,
esteemed
Jared.
guest and friend,
Yes.
Jared Maggard. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Definitely gonna touch on some guest favorite topics today. We discussed a few, threw in a few curveballs there for you, Jared. But we'll dive right into it. Easy one. Favorite 3 anime characters, all-time anime. Could be
Well, I'm kind of
anyone.
new to anime. I think I just started.
Are you that new? I didn't
Yeah,
know that. For some reason, I
end of
thought-
last year, beginning of
It's
this
been
year.
about a year, really.
Yeah.
I don't know why. I thought you always watched it.
No. I've only watched a few, but I would say my top 3. First of all, Zenitsu, Demon Slayer.
That's fair.
Second,
I know of him.
I would say Hawks from My Hero,
That's another solid choice.
I don't know of him.
and this third one is all because of you, Kaneki.
Yeah,
Tokyo
Kaneki. Kaneki.
Kaneki, yeah.
Kaneki's also in my top 3. Kaneki is my second, but third would be Kirito from Sword Art. Only reason that is because I've watched Sword Art probably like 9 or 10 times. It's my most watched anime.
You keep telling me to watch it. I just haven't yet.
It's really good. And then one, my top is really hard for me to pick because, as you both know, I've watched a lot of animes, and just picking one person to be my favorite out of all of them is super hard. So I guess if you made me pick, it would probably be Light Yagami from Death Note.
Death Note's solid.
Yeah.
Live action, right?
No, absolutely not.
See, I'm the same way, but the problem with my answers are I struggle to pick one all from like the same 3 shows. I like a lot of the older anime. I don't think I'd say I dislike newer anime. I think I just don't have as much time to invest in the newer anime as I used to. That being said, 3 of my top 3 choices are from Dragon Balls. I mean, it's really split between Goku, Vegeta, Broly. I've got a thing for Saiyans. What can I say? I don't know if it was a pun, but it was close enough. And then probably at like 3 would be like Inuyasha. I was always a big fan of Inuyasha.
So you're gonna do. Wait, you said 3.
I did say 3. I don't know. Inuyasha might be 4.
Okay.
I think all top 3 are
I'm
going to
not
be from
surprised you
Dragon
didn't
Ball
say
Z.
Sailor Moon or something.
Sailor Moon was an early on discovery in the anime world for me.
Maybe awakening.
Let me
Definitely
ask
was a
you-
confusing time when
Yeah.
Sailor
Let me-
Moon came out.
Let me ask you this: Is it? I know you said you don't have enough time to invest in them, but is it more that you relate to the older ones because they came from your childhood?
Oh, for sure. Just the nostalgia alone.
See, like I watched Dragon Ball Z and Pokemon and that stuff when I was a kid, but I didn't really get into anime until a few years ago when I started Sword Art, which was my first one, and it kind of just branched off from there. The newer anime, I can see why you're nostalgic to the old. The newer ones, like the animation and the fighting and the graphics, it's all so much better.
Yeah, but there was a little bit of a charm to that old, like, you could tell everything was drawn. Sure, 15 minutes of it was just people powering up. But you could appreciate the artwork, and you could also appreciate that they could still hold your attention with dialogue, plot, all that, too. And every now and then they throw in some low budget action from the hand art drawing. But if you were willing to invest your imagination in it, it was really cool for its time. Obviously, as things like Dragon Ball Z went on, they got better with the animations, but it's still a lot of powering up.
I mean, yeah, but it's
No matter
nothing
which
compared
saga.
to the new stuff today. Like he said, Zenitsu from Demon Slayer. Demon Slayer is probably one of the best animation-wise shows that I've ever seen. Just the fighting and the visual effects that they throw into it is crazy.
See, I don't know if I could watch the old. Like, I tried One Piece, and like the first, couple seasons is like what 1990 something, and I can't watch it.
Well,
It
see,
was a
I've
whole
watched.
different world, really.
I kind of have the best of both worlds. I've watched both. Like Naruto. Naruto came out in the early 2000s. It's still considered old compared to today. And
Yeah, it's still weird to me that that's old now, but getting used to
I mean,
that.
it's like 20 years old.
I
so-
know. It's crazy.
But like I love Naruto, but the newer stuff is just the graphics and stuff sell it for me.
Yeah. See, to me, in my mind, even all those bad graphics from back in the day, I was so young. So, like, in my head, they're
It's
still
cool.
amazing.
Yeah.
They're awesome. So I guess, and I've gone back and watched a few things from my childhood and been like, oh my God, this was pretty bad, wasn't it? Compared to what you see now. But it's just, to me, it's going to be hard to beat. I don't think there's going to be a new anime that can quite capture my imagination like those older ones did.
I mean,
I didn't even
Dragon Ball,
realize that Pokemon was technically an anime growing up.
technically.
Yeah. It's definitely like one of the more mainstream ones, I would say. Anime, I think, kind of had its own stigma of kind of being like an off-brand kind of to like normal cartoons in America, like Cartoon Network and
Well,
Nickelodeon.
the reason for that is it comes from Japan.
Right.
Like a lot of places over here didn't broadcast it.
Yeah.
Like you got Dragon Ball Z when it started coming out, but like
Yeah.
when we were kids, they didn't show a lot of anime. There were still animes and stuff like Cowboy Bebop. It came out before Dragon Ball did.
Right.
But
It
not
was-
too many people watched it.
And it was all around midnight. The really
late,
crazy
the,
stuff came out.
Adult Swim type
Yeah.
deal.
Couldn't just stream it whenever. You had to like actually stay up late on the weekend with your buddies and figure out where you were in the series, like timeline wise, because it never played them in order.
No,
either.
it was just random episodes.
Yeah. So you never knew what you were going to get. Jared, did you? I guess you said you didn't do a lot watching it growing up. What was probably your first anime?
Honestly, my first one was Demon Slayer.
Was it?
Yeah.
See, that's one I didn't dive into too much.
Logan just bothered me
It's
until I watched it.
It's very, very. I mean, I have an anime sleeve, and it's only reserved for some of my favorite animes, and he's on here.
Yeah, I don't know what half that stuff is. I'm not gonna lie to you.
It's really good. You should
It looks good.
give it a chance.
Oh yeah, again, I don't have anything against it. It's just
Let me clarify, Tanjiro, not Zenitsu, on your arm. You just said
Yeah, I have Tanjiro
Yeah.
on my arm. Not
I'm very much a late '90s, early 2000s kid, and it's just really stuck with me. So the anime from that time for me is just gonna be hard
It's
to
just
overcome.
I mean, it's surprising. I've never seen an episode of Dragon Ball.
Yeah, that blows my mind. That we're from like the same time and you never seen Dragon Ball. I don't know what you were doing, but you're missing out. I guess you could say the same for me about the other ones, though. Moving on, best and worst movie remakes.
This is one of Jared's topics that he wanted us to discuss. So, you want to start?
Well, yeah, I want to discuss it mostly because there's a movie coming out, a remake, The Crow.
Yes, I've seen.
That's one that should never be remade.
What is The Crow?
Oh,
You've never seen The Crow?
my God.
No, I've never even.
You know
heard
who
of
Bruce
this, I
Lee
don't
is,
think.
right?
Yeah, I know.
His son
Bruce
Brandon
is.
Lee.
Bruce-
He was in this
Bruce
movie.
Lee.
He was the star. He died during the filming of this movie. They were,
Oh,
he
I
got
do
shot and
remember
stuck to a
you.
blank.
I remember you mentioning this, but I've never seen the movie.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, like you said earlier, when you go back and watch stuff, you watch as a kid, and it's not as good. The Crow, it's
Yeah.
not as good as I remember, but it's still good.
It's one of those cult classics.
Yeah, cult classic.
The Crow.
I love cults so much.
And don't get me started on horror.
He is a
movies.
Kool-Aid drinker. Anyway,
These horror movie remakes are just
some of them are good.
Horror movies.
horror.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, horror.
Starting trouble over here.
Like what was it? The Nightmare on Elm Street. Did you watch the remake of that?
The one from like 2007.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
it
mean, it's been a
wasn't
while,
very
but
good.
oh my lord.
Some of them aren't bad though. Like I don't even know if I'd really call it a remake, but the new Evil Dead,
Yeah.
it's not bad.
Well, even the reboot, I don't remember. Do you remember it was like a reboot where they actually went to the cabin in the woods?
Yeah.
It wasn't that bad.
No, that wasn't awful either.
But it's just nostalgia for me, growing up watching Bruce Campbell as Ash.
I guess my opinion on remakes is it kind of depends on how good it is. Like if you're going to release something and it's going to completely trash the original, then you might as well just not make it.
Well, I think with any remake, you're going to ask yourself,
Is it worth it?
well, I mean, I think you've asked that with any movie, but when you're doing a remake, where are my loyalties going to lie? Is it going to be to the original lore? Maybe there's a comic book lore. It depends on what you're doing, but are you going to make fans happy, or are you going for your own vision? Is this something completely just new, like the Spider-Man, how they did all those different visions? Or are you going to stick true to the original lore that was given to you in what other format you got?
Well, there's some remakes that are based on books that are really good. Like Stephen King's It, the remake.
Yeah.
Very good.
I'd say that one's good because
It followed the book more than...
it followed the book more, but also the time that the original It came out. Like, what was it? 80s?
No,
Early,
late
late
80s,
70s?
like 90, 91 maybe?
Something like that. Now, horror movies have taken a big jump since then.
Yeah, true.
Like, you can make shit super scary now compared to what the old It would be.
They're always pushing the limit, aren't they?
And
Like
that's
they're running out of crazy stuff to do.
That's my
They
only
got to
gripe
get
about
creative.
today's horror movies. They're just more about gore than about the...
Some.
Some.
That's definitely a tactic some people take, is just up the gore to make it scarier. But after a while, you do get kind of like, okay.
Not to go off the path here, I watched a movie with Lindsay last night. Probably one of the best horror movies I've ever seen. It's in Korean. It was something Asylum of Gonjiam. It's one of those found footage movies, kind of like the Blair Witch Project.
Koreans do, from my personal experience, I've heard and seen some messed up Korean movies.
It was
they really know how to push the limit.
It's about an hour and a half long.
I think Dead Girl was Korean.
We were sitting there watching it, and I was like, it's really not that scary. And then it was just like, they turned it up. I was like, oh, God.
Dead Girl was pretty raunchy. I also was pretty young when we saw it.
Wasn't The Grudge Korean, too?
Yeah, originally.
Yeah. The original Grudge was the scariest
They know
one.
how to scare the crap out of you, that's for sure.
They just have no limits. They're just over there. It's like, let's scare you. You
From
want to
all
be scared?
that
We'll
torture
scare you.
practice. That's years and years of torture practice.
Oh, my God.
I'm just kidding. I didn't have a lot of movies that came to mind as far as best remakes, but there was one that really pissed me off when they put it out there. I don't know if it's a remake as much as just a live action. Does that count?
Sure.
Dragon Ball Evolution.
All the animes.
Oh, funny story.
Except for One Piece.
Never watched an episode of Dragon
Cowboy
Ball,
Bebop. I didn't have a problem with.
but did watch that movie.
No, no.
You did watch?
Yeah.
See, that's disgraceful. You watched Dragon Ball Evolution
Oh, no.
with the fucking Shameless crew. Like, I would, no disrespect, they're great actors and actress, but yeah, I don't know if they, to no fault of the actor and actress's own, it was bad. It was really bad.
I will say, too, like you said, besides Cowboy Bebop, I've heard the new One Piece is good. I haven't watched it. Mm-hmm. All those anime adaptations into live-action movies are fucking trash.
Some people can do them well.
I haven't seen one in a movie form that I've enjoyed.
Well, and ones like Dragon Ball are going to be so hard just to capture all the effects.
Well, another one like that is Avatar. Have you seen the Avatar movie?
Yeah.
The Last Air. It's fucking awful.
Which they are remaking as a Netflix series.
Oh, they are?
Yeah.
Well, that might be decent.
And it's the same company who did...
No, not the blue.
All right. So, what is today?
Saturday.
It is Saturday. And it is also National Podcast Day.
Also, don't let me forget, tomorrow I have to wake Green Day up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, September. Yeah, that's bad.
I don't know about that.
You made my joke look good, though, so thank you.
National Podcast Day.
Yeah.
That's ironic.
It is ironic, because it's such an inflated market and all these people making new podcasts all the time, every
I wonder who
day.
that could be.
I don't know.
It couldn't be us, right?
It probably is, but we're going to pretend it's not. Anyway, so, Jared, do you listen to podcasts?
Not really, no.
No? All right. What's the last one you listened to, and what time of day was it?
Well, the last one I listened to was Fourth and Nerd.
Was it really? Oh, God, I'm sorry.
It was, yesterday afternoon.
Logan, what's
He's
your
what we
go-to?
call a short king.
The Short King?
I don't know if I want to answer. Y'all are bullying me. My go-to podcast? Probably Dungeons and Daddies.
Dungeons and Daddies.
Not a BDSM
I was
podcast.
going to say that sounds dirty.
It's a D&D podcast that I listen to.
Okay.
I listened to the new episode on Tuesday. I don't know what time of day it was.
I do think I've heard an episode of that.
It's pretty good. I really like the D&D podcasts. I usually listen to them like I'm driving or something like that because most of them aren't video; they're just audio, and you get to imagine whatever you want in that sense. And that's what I like about D&D is you can use your imagination. So each person that listens to it gets their own perspective, basically, from what the story actually is, because you get to imagine the characters how you want them. I mean, they describe them, but it's your imagination.
Yeah, I'm sure so many different ways to connect the dots, too.
What about you?
A lot of Joe Rogan, for sure. Just because he has interesting
That explains
people.
a lot.
It does. But just because he has a lot of interesting people on. I will definitely skip over some if I'm not familiar with the guest.
Yeah, he had Sean Gillis on there the other day.
I would be interested. That was actually going to be my other thing. Just as of late, been listening to, I think it was like MSSP. It's like Shane Gillis's podcast. I just found
I didn't know
it.
he had a podcast.
Just found it today. Was doing yard work and listening to it. It's just funny.
He's fucking hilarious.
Awesome to just kind of hang out with. Those are the ones I like to put on pretty much any comedy podcast, really.
Well, no, I like New Heights, too. That's not necessarily comedy.
It's not, but I think Jason Kelsey's pretty funny.
Oh, Travis can be, too, but...
It can be, yeah.
Especially here recently, he keeps making these Taylor Swift puns.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ahsoka.
Is that... are you just saying that? Or
That's
is that
my
that is
my
terrible
segue. Ahsoka. I love it so far.
It's good. It's very
really
good.
good.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite Star Wars projects done by Disney so far.
I like that.
That's saying a lot.
Well, maybe season 1 of The Mandalorian, but after season 1, it just kind of got too far off course for me.
It doesn't. None of it feels misplaced. Like there's not an episode where I'm like, that wouldn't.
This is filler.
Yeah,
Why am I
or it just
watching
doesn't
this?
feel like it fits in the Star Wars world like some of the other Disney stuff. But there are definitely some moments where I don't know if it actually would have played out that way, but Star Wars has always kind of been like that, like feel goody, which is fine. But Disney would sometimes take that to like a whole nother level, to where it's just like defying reality.
I mean, it is Disney.
Yeah, just so the good guys win or something like that. But this one, you can tell Filoni is in charge for sure.
It's super good. I think my favorite part about it so far, it's just been the past few episodes, is they've actually brought to light the Anakin and Ahsoka relationship.
Yeah.
I've really enjoyed seeing her point of view of him. Like it's more like he was a father figure to her, and then he kind of just deserted her when he went to the dark side. And I really liked that. Like in the newest episode.
Well, to be fair, she left first.
Well, you know what I mean. He was already going bad.
I don't think she so much wanted to leave him.
She was just done with the fighting, right?
No. Well, she didn't agree with the
Their
direction.
principles.
Yeah.
The direction of the Jedi in general. She questioned a lot of it, but she got exiled. She got set up for, I forget who it was, but somebody else created like an explosion or something like that, and basically all evidence made it look like it was Ahsoka. And then so she got exiled. Anakin, this was all in the Clone Wars animated series, I believe. I could be wrong, but basically found evidence that it wasn't her. Jedi Order apologized, tried to take her back, and she was just like, nah.
We're done.
You just exiled me, bro. Like, I tried to tell you it wasn't me. So, no, I don't think it was like... She didn't abandon him necessarily, but she, I think, saw the writing on the wall with the Jedi Order and how just narrow-sighted it was.
Right.
And so she just knew she had to get out of there, and wisely so. It's the whole reason she probably survived Order 66.
I mean, in this last episode, too, like there was, we talked about it, the training videos when she was on her ship with, I can't remember the robot's name, but she was training and he had made like 20 videos for her.
The robot that plays like the English butler
like
role.
Yang or something
I
like
can't
that.
remember.
I
his
can't
name.
remember.
Which is also,
either.
he's voiced by David Tennant. I don't know who that is. He was one of the doctors in Doctor Who.
Never seen
Nope.
Doctor Who.
Have you've seen Harry Potter then? He was the guy that took the polyjuice potion to look like Mad-Eye Mooney.
Oh, okay. That's not. I know who you mean.
Gotcha. Fun fact.
But it's been good so far. If we're talking specifically the newest episode, it was decent. I would have liked to see. Oh God, what's his name? The Rebels guy. Ezra. I would like to see him use his lightsaber against all those clones.
I thought it was pretty cool just using the Force as like kung fu.
Yeah, it makes sense.
I get it, but I would have loved him to whip that lightsaber out and just start cutting.
Here's the
through
thing:
him.
I don't know if it was in the show, but I saw a meme. It was like a lightsaber doesn't make you a Jedi.
No, it doesn't.
No.
It's just a tool that they have. But traditionally, it was like a rite of passage. But if you are a Jedi that just had to rely on Force abilities alone that whole time,
Yeah, because he's been there for a while.
it would probably be more of a hindrance to then try and use a saber.
I mean, that's fair. He got that rifle though, and that was he's tactically just moving around shooting.
I've got issues with that whole chase.
Why?
Are you kidding me? That part was where it got a little too Disney for me.
I thought it was cool.
Wait, what part?
The chase itself was cool.
The turtles thing, whatever the hell
Why?
they're called.
Okay.
The turtle things.
Noties?
If you go back and watch that, they're being chased by like a swarm of people.
Mm-hmm.
By the time they stop, they have not like killed, disrupted, maimed
That
that many
Sabine
of
chick
them.
shot so many of them.
By the time they're pulling up, it turned into like two people that they were just taking their time getting out of their little turtle shells. Just like, everybody okay? Okay, we weren't just being attacked. We're good. We're going to take our time.
Yeah, I can see.
We're going to get
there
down.
was no urgency.
We're gonna square up and do our Power Rangers intro. Like,
What you don't know, though, that whole group, that was their first day on the job.
yeah, I mean, obviously they weren't invested or something because the moment that whole caravan stopped, realistically, they should have been swarmed.
And they kind of did like the old, what was that, where they
And they
put
got
the
rid of
wagons
their-
around the circle?
Yeah. Well, and they also
We're
got
like
rid of
circle
their,
up.
They got rid of their scary monsters they were riding too. They're just like, we're not going to use these. We're
I
going to
know
get
we're
off
talking
and
about
we're
this,
going to
but-
get rid of the blasters. We're just going to go hand to hand pike combat.
You can get back to your story, but I just want to mention the actress who plays Sabine.
Oh, I mean, yeah. They knew what they were doing.
Oh, yeah.
They knew what they were doing. Across the board. They knew what they were doing. Yeah, the memes from that alone is endless. But yeah, one thing I liked was the C-3PO intro. And the moment I heard him say, "How rude," I was like, "Oh, I know what that is." I don't know why, but the first thing that actually came to mind was Jar Jar. But it was obviously C-3PO's voice. Unfortunate that is the first thing that comes to mind when I hear that.
I like
Keeping
the
Jared alive as we speak.
I like the fight between Ahsoka and the General. It wasn't like crazy over the top, but
Oh, I gotta give respects to what was his Ray, is the actor's name. He just passed away before the release of the first episode. You talking about?
Lord Bayland?
Yeah, Balin. That actor died before.
He
the show.
did?
Yeah.
oh, that's
Oh,
sad.
no.
Yeah.
I loved his character.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
They set him up for so much other stuff.
I know. What are
too.
they going to do? They've got to replace
He
him,
like
right?
straight up was like, "Yeah, you have your quest and I have mine, so
Yeah.
you go on your own
They're
now."
going to have to find
Yeah,
somebody
they're gonna have to
else.
find someone, but
That's
he was like
so unfortunate.
perfect for that role.
He was. It was great. Kind of like not a different take on almost like a gray Jedi, like a mercenary Jedi.
Yeah,
Just kind of had his own thing going
he
on.
didn't want to kill people unless he had to.
He was
Stuff like that.
He was a survivor,
Right.
and just did what he had to do to survive.
They aren't Sith. They're just like gray or
They're former Jedi that have somehow made a living after Order 66.
without becoming Sith.
Exactly. They definitely dabble.
Well, they said, oh God, what's her name? The white-haired chick? I'm so awful with names.
His apprentice.
Yeah, his apprentice.
His apprentice.
They said that they think, in a forum I read, that she's leaning more towards the Sith side now.
It's possible. I mean, I feel like it's easier to lean that way when you're exposed to it if you're the younger of the two, just naturally. I think just that having that wisdom and also being trained in the Jedi Order, like he can kind of resist better.
And she's not.
Yeah,
so.
like he can go to hell and come back and be like, "Damn, that was crazy." I'm still me, but dang, that was wild.
I also want to mention the face that Thrawn had when he was reading the sheet. It was like, oh, her master was Anakin Skywalker.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
He's like,
that was
yeah,
good.
pull the fighters back. Yeah, just stop that assault. That's a bad idea.
Yeah, no, I thought I was because it's Thrawn, right? So like as soon as he says his little cryptic line, what was it? Control all the variables and like let her choose her own path. I was like, all right, what the hell does that mean? Let's figure
Why are
this
we
out
getting
real
so
quick.
cryptic here?
Yeah, and so I was like, obviously he's kind of doing the cliche thing of sending a squad of fighters after her, and then a ground team, and then all that.
He's
And
like,
then-
oh shit, does that say Anakin Skywalker? Oh, we fucked up.
I think it might have exacerbated things, but he still followed like his initial plan, which was time.
'Cause if I'm not mistaken, Thrawn was one of the only few that knew Darth Vader was Anakin.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I think he figured it out. I think it was
No,
like
I think he knew it.
insinuated
I think in
that
the
he figured it
book
out.
he does mention it to him. He's
Okay.
like,
I didn't know if he mentioned. Oh, one other thing. The Anakin anti-aging CGI they got going
Oh, that's
on
pretty good.
is so much better than you. I don't know if you remember.
oh, the Luke and Mandalorian. Do you remember that? Oh my!
It was pretty
God.
bad.
There was a couple that were just atrociously bad. And I think one of them was in the movies. I remember seeing it on the big screen and going, that sucks. Who signed off on that? I'm glad they got it together because it's so much better. Obviously, you can't
It's not
do...
perfect, but
Right. Obviously, you probably can't do like too much extensive stuff with Anakin, but that opens the door for like future series and stuff. How you can kind of preserve some of these actors and actresses that are getting older in real life and keep using them in.
I'd like to see more of like
episodes.
the actual Clone Wars. They didn't show too much in like the
Yeah, the flashbacks to the Clone Wars in the Ahsoka series has been great.
like. I would like to see more of that, like them
We'll watch
fighting and stuff.
Clone Wars animation series.
I've watched it, but I would like to see like a live action version of it.
The live action Clone Wars is so much better. Like, I get why they had to do a lot of it animated, but
It would be very good as just like a stand. Like you could just do
yeah.
a good portion of it as like a movie
Yeah.
or just an episode
You
of
could
some
do a
series.
series.
Yeah, something like
of
that because
just-
that would be awesome to throw in.
Live action Anakin and Ahsoka going on missions. Like,
With
yeah.
Obi-Wan showing up.
I don't think they could pull that off now with the timeline as far as how old
No.
he is. But it would be sweet if they could. Clone Wars series, we're pitching it. Filoni, where you at?
Next topic.
Yeah, a lot of Ahsoka coverage. Hard not to talk about it. It's one of the best things we had in a while. Topic of the week. So, we did have a comment asking, what are your favorite sports movies?
Well, we'll let the guest go first.
The Water Boy.
Waterboy?
Oh, I didn't even. Why did I think of the Waterboy? That's so
Waterboy's
good.
a good one. Why do you like the Waterboy?
Loaded question.
It's Adam Sandler. I've watched that movie so many times. It's just very quotable.
Yeah.
Very quotable. It's like the
Water.
Will Ferrell movies before Will Ferrell was a thing.
Gatorade.
Yeah.
I only say that because I don't really watch a lot of serious sports movies. If that makes sense.
Yeah. Honestly, for some reason, I barely touched on comedy going into it. Like, I was thinking super serious for every different sport. And the only comedy one that popped up into mind was Semi-Pro for some reason.
The Will Ferrell one?
Yeah.
That's a good movie. I don't know if I'd put it at my top.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it up there. I wouldn't put it
I
up
don't
there.
know if I'd put it at the top.
I didn't have it at the top, but as far as comedy ones, I was having a hard time thinking of basketball movies that I loved, like serious ones. And so what I
mean, one that's semi-serious, but not really. If I was going to put a basketball movie towards the top, probably White Men Can't Jump.
See, I hadn't seen that yet.
Or basketball.
You haven't seen either of them?
Not the new one, I meant.
I mean the original with Woody
Okay.
Harrelson. That one's super good.
I think I've seen it, but it didn't stick with me for some reason. If I'm going all time, it's probably Friday Night Lights, not the series,
The movie.
the movie.
I'm sort of on that same boat. Like, I love Friday Night Lights, but if I was going to pick one, it's probably Varsity Blues.
That was my number
Actually,
two.
there is a serious one that I really like. I mean, if you count racing as a sport, right? Like NASCAR.
I mean, it's-
Days
Oh,
of
yeah.
Thunder. Tom Cruise.
I don't know if I've seen Days of Thunder.
I don't know if I've seen that either. I was going to go Talladega Nights all day.
Yeah. Had,
Moneyball was the only
That's a
baseball
good
one I could really think
I
of
don't
that I
think I've seen
loved.
that one.
That's Brad Pitt.
Jonah Hill?
Yes.
Jonah Hill? Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
Baseball. I don't think I have a serious Well, 42. I like the Jackie Robinson one. It's serious.
Was that
don't know if
Black
I've seen
Panther? I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Chadwick Boseman?
Chadwick Boseman. If I was going to pick a funny one, it'd probably be Benchwarmers.
Oh.
That's a good one. I didn't think of Benchwarmers. What about hockey?
What was that? His birth certificate is written in crayon.
Oh, God.
I had one for the hockey.
Goon, is that what it's called?
That's what I
Sean
think
William
too.
Scott? Yeah, that's a good one.
That's a good
That
one.
was a great fighting movie.
Serious or not serious?
Whatever.
If I'm picking, I have two.
There's non-serious fighting movies. I can't even think of one.
I got so many.
I got one. I rewatched it. It's not as good as it was when I was a kid, but the first Mortal Kombat movie.
It's not bad.
Is that not serious though? First Mortal Kombat movie. I mean,
It's serious.
there's some lighthearted humor, but I feel like it's like a serious plot.
It
You know
is.
what I mean?
I
You
have-
said not serious fighting?
Yeah, I
movie?
can't think of a not serious one.
Oh.
I can't think of a not serious one. Never mind.
Do they exist? Kung Pao.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, there
Kung
you
Kung Fu
go.
Hustle.
Pao. Tonguey. Oh my god.
I have a lot of serious ones.
And then the girl with the uniboob.
Or you can do you count fights in a comedy movie?
Fights in a
I'm
comedy movie.
old Blue has a heart attack. Mud wrestling those two chicks.
I don't know what
My
that
boy
is.
Blue.
If I was going
I
to do
thought you were
fights in a
saying-
comedy movie, it would be in Happy Gilmore when he fights Bob Barker.
I was gonna say.
The price is
Anchorman.
wrong, Bob.
I was gonna say Anchorman.
Oh,
I
is it
don't
the second
like-
one they have that giant fight?
I don't
Like,
Yeah.
and
I'm
With
not
the
a big
different
fan of
studios.
Anchorman.
You're
Yeah.
not a fan of.
so many cameos, man.
Oh my god.
Back to the topic.
Oh, sorry.
Fighting movies. If I was going to pick a serious... I have 3 or 4 I could pick.
I know exactly which one it is for me.
Rocky 4. It's probably the
I
top
didn't care for the Rocky.
Which one's for?
when he fights the Russian
Oh.
in Russia.
After the first one, I was done.
Because they made one that was about street fighting. They fought on the street.
That was
What-
the 5th one. That
Oh
one's
my
not good.
god.
Rocky 4. Never Back Down.
That's my number
Oh,
one.
that's a good one. Yeah.
That one's super good.
That's like when MMA was just getting on
Actually,
the map.
mine. It's not like a big movie. It was you know who Michael J. White is? He did one. I saw it on Netflix called Blood and Bone. He's an actual martial
that
artist.
sounds familiar though.
Do you remember the
It does
original
sound
Spawn
familiar.
movie?
Yes.
Yeah.
He played Spawn.
That was
Oh,
a really
okay.
good movie.
That's Michael J. White.
That was a really good movie.
I got-
That's a good live action example, actually.
2 more. One would be... Have you seen The Fighter? Christian Bale, Mark
I think
Wahlberg.
so.
No.
Yes.
Where
yes.
his brother's
Where his
a
brother's
drug addict.
but
Yeah.
he's like coaching him up and stuff. That was a really good movie.
Another good one had what's his name? Tom Hardy, where it was a UFC fighter, him and his brother, and they both had to fight at the end of it.
I've heard of that one.
I think that one's called
Yeah.
Brothers, isn't it?
No,
Something like
I
that.
don't know.
No.
And he was like AWOL from the military.
I got 2 more now, actually, now that I think about it. Southpaw.
I don't think I've
I
seen that.
vaguely remember Southpaw.
The one where he's like sort of gang affiliated and his wife gets killed.
I'd have to brush up on
He's
it.
a boxer, and then like right after his fight, he beats this dude, and a dude comes out and shoots his wife right after the fight and kills her.
It's called Warrior.
Warrior, that's what it is.
That's what mine is.
That one's good. This one's just for nostalgia. Bloodsport with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
I didn't realize I'd seen so many fighting.
Right? Yeah, he just went off. That's all we've got today for today, boys.
And all the topics. You got anything else you want to add before you go?
No, I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you, Jared, and also we need to thank Mr. B's.
Yes.
This is where we shot today's episode. Mr. B's out in Pennington Gap, Virginia. They got everything your gaming heart could desire: karaoke, Guitar Hero, PCs, all the consoles, driving simulators,
D&D,
pool tables.
Yeah.
They've been super good to work with, and we're really glad that they
exist.
Yeah.
This is my first time since we came when they weren't even open yet when we played D&D.
Yeah, when it first started.
I walked through that door and my mind was blown.
Yeah. We've gotten a little used to it, but it's still awesome every time you walk in here. Just be like, this is...
Just the energy it brings.
There's like over 20 Xboxes out there.
Yeah. Custom built gaming sets.
PC,
yeah it's a dope place. They got pool tables now.
Yeah, they're playing Warhammer 40K next door right now.
But yeah, thank you to Mr. B's, and thank you to Jared for coming on for this episode.
Karaoke. They're doing karaoke in an hour, too. So they got karaoke stage. So all kinds of things going on. It's just a great place to hang out. Bring the kids, too, during the day.
Right. Well, if you're in our area, check out Mr. B's. Thank you, Jared, for coming on the episode.
Thank you, boys.
And
yes, sirree.
That's it. Till next time.
Bye.